Guys, I'm gonna show you exactly how to run Facebook ads like a professional for your e-commerce business. I'm gonna be hopping over into Ads Manager in a second. I'll show you exactly how we build out our accounts. To give you a bit of context, my name is Boyan and last year I ran a Facebook ad agency. We also did email marketing, more so just kind of holistic e-commerce growth in general. But this year I've decided to step back from Facebook ads and really hone in on email marketing because I feel like that's more so underserved in the e-commerce space from a business provider perspective. After running Facebook ads for just over a year now, and we've generated multi-seven figures in results for our clients. I know ads better than your average dropshipper, so let's jump into a screen share and I'll show you how to build this out. So I'll be demoing this account build on my own agency ad account, so I wouldn't have a Facebook pixel installed for a specific Shopify store. I'll be demoing everything in terms of making everything conversion based and stuff like that, but the conversion event wouldn't actually be available. This template is what we used for most of our clients last year as kind of like something that we would default to, but obviously as we scale the accounts, we had to like pivot the strategy accordingly, so feel free to customize it to your business. Let's just jump into the build. So first of all, you want to go to the business manager, you want to go to your ad account, and then you want to hit create. And then from here, you want to use conversions. Always optimize for the purchase conversion. Don't optimize for things like add to carts. From our experience, it just doesn't really work. And then for the campaign name, I'm just going to name this demo Shopify top of funnel testing. There's 5 different campaigns that we need. The top of funnel testing campaign, top of funnel scaling campaign, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and DPA ads. So this is the testing campaign. For the ad set, we'll start with a large audience interest. And then let's say we want to use like a UGC video ad. Hit continue, and you'll have your first campaign essentially. So here, you want to make sure to have, for the testing campaign, we want to keep it ABO, so make sure campaign budget optimization is turned off. In terms of special categories, unless you're advertising for a political purpose, you don't need to declare anything. So go to next, hit the audience, hit the interest, and here you want to actually do your targeting. So from a campaign level, name is fairly self-explanatory as a campaign. Ad set level, this is where you'll be doing all of your targeting, and ad level is where you add your creatives. In terms of a daily budget, I recommend a 1x target CPA. So if your target CPA is, I don't know, like £30, then it would be £30. But for the sake of this demo, I'm just gonna keep it as that. And you don't want to set an end date because it's completely optional, and also most of the time you're going to be optimizing this manually anyways, because this indeed is an ABO campaign because we're testing here. So when it comes to the audience section, you don't need to bother with custom audiences when it comes to an interest audience. You only need to make sure you're excluding lower stages of the funnel. So you want to be excluding web visitors, so web visitors 90, and then also you want to be excluding things like add to carts, purchases, initiated checkout, and things like that. Now, you're gonna have to actually go into the custom audiences section and create that yourself. Right now, it's not something that I have created at the moment for this ad account. So for the sake of this video, we're just gonna stick to web visitor 90. But for your own ad account, you'd obviously need to exclude past purchases as well. And for that, I recommend excluding past purchases in the last 365 days. When it comes to age, just do a target age range. Generally speaking, we can leave this on 18 to 16, doesn't matter. Gender, if you're only catering towards men, then keep it as male. If not, you can keep it as female, or you can just keep both genders to help you increase the reach of your ad and hopefully lower the CPA a little bit as well. So when it comes to detailed targeting, you want to click edit. And let's say, just for the sake of this example, I'm going to be selling like a protein powder. Let's pretend that. So a large cap interest would be something like men's fitness, which is a interest that has 58 million people. This is only in the United Kingdom alone. So you can see the audience size if you just stop excluding the people. So men's fitness, 55 million people. But let's say we were to target a country like United States, then this would increase the reach to up to 290 million. So this is what I mean by a really large interest audience. The reason why broad audiences work really well is just because it lets Facebook's algorithm determine where to serve the ads, and broad audiences work especially well if your pixel has already recorded significant amounts of data. In terms of placement, you want to have automatic placements for everything. This basically allows the Facebook AI to determine where to actually put your ads. The old school method of doing things is to only do feed ads, but to be honest, CPM for feed ads is so expensive that I just recommend keeping on automatic placement. And for cost control, you don't really need to bother with that. Next is for the UGC ad. This is where you actually upload the ad creatives. So what you would do is you would go to create an ad, and then make sure you have dynamic formats and creatives turned on. Essentially what dynamic creative is, let's say you put in 5 different videos and then 5 different copies, it's gonna arrange those and mix and match everything automatically for you. So basically it eliminates the amount of manual testing you have to do, and also lets the Facebook algorithm determine which combination is the best, and it will remove so much kind of like manual decision making and manual media buying on your end. Super helpful tool that we use. So when it comes to ad creatives, what you want to do is create an ad, and then if you don't want to tick this, by the way, then what you want to do is you want to have a single image or video, and then you would just want to upload it in here, add media, add image, create video, and then primary text. This is essentially the text that they see in the description of the ad, I guess. And then for the headline, this would be the headline that would be shown on the feed placements on Facebook, and also when it comes to placing them on Messenger and stuff like that. The headline is what people will see. In terms of the destination, you want to be driving traffic to either your homepage or the product page. Personally, with a lot of our clients last year, we drove traffic directly to the product page. Reason being is the ad is supposed to sell the click, and then the product page is going to convince them to actually buy your product. So if you have a high converting product page, then just drive traffic there. So just product page. .com. Hopefully this works. Yeah, and then for the call to action, just put shop now if you want them to buy from you, or you can do learn more. It doesn't really matter. In terms of web tracking, so the conversion event here, you want to always do purchase. So you want to click purchase. Right now it's inactive because I don't have a Facebook pixel installed. So, you know, obviously with your site, you're going to have a Facebook pixel installed, so you don't need to worry about that. So just click purchase. Some people will tell you to optimize for add to carts, but just don't do it. Purchase is what you want to be optimizing for, and that's where you're going to see the return on ad spend. So this is how you actually build out a top of funnel campaign when it comes to the testing campaign. So you want to do what I just did, but literally for 3 to 5 new audiences here. You want to have a large interest audience, a mid interest audience, and a lookalike audience that you want to be testing. And in terms of the creatives, you want to just be duplicating them from this into the rest of the audience as well, and that will make up your testing campaign. When it comes to your scaling campaign, literally you just want to hit Control C, Control V, so copy and paste this one, and then you want to just rename it to top of funnel scaling. And the only difference is you want to hit campaign budget optimization. The reason why you want to do this is you want to get Facebook's algorithm to allocate the budget accordingly and cycle through them anyways, completely automatically. Initially, you're not going to have any interests or audiences, in this scaling campaign, because through the testing campaign, you're going to be duplicating the winners into that scaling campaign, where you'll be actually increasing the budget daily through CBO. When it comes to the lower stages of the funnel, literally the same process, except you're going to be changing something on the targeting side of things. So let's just create a retargeting. You can even do campaign budget optimization for this. It doesn't really matter. I've seen kind of both work pretty well. Again, conversion event, you want to do purchase. You don't want to do anything else. And for the audience, this is where you need to be creating custom audiences. Web visitor 30, excluding lower stages of funnel. Video viewers 75% or above. Engagement last 30 days. And then for the bottom of funnel, you want add to carts in the last 30 days, initiated checkout in the last 30 days, and then purchases in the last 14 to 16 days. So essentially why you want to be targeting people that have already purchased from you is because you want to be upselling them onto different products as well, which is why we've included that ad set into the bottom of funnel. So yeah, this is generally how you build out top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel when it comes to Facebook ads. A few best practices would be to use dynamic creative testing, as I showed you earlier, CBO whenever you can, and automatic placement for everything. Now, on top of funnel, the idea is you want to be finding between 5 to 10 winning audiences. And then from that, you want to be isolating 3 to 5 winning creative combinations as well. And then from there, once you have that cracked, that's probably going to take you, spending a bit of money, acquiring a bit of data, and just seeing where it goes. But once you have that cracked, you're really going to be able to start scaling your ads. Instead of on the new ad section, instead of saying create ad, you want to actually select use existing post, and then select the post that you've already created as an ad. When you do that, you're going to keep all of the engagement that you've had from the previous ad. So that, let's say you got 100 likes when it came to the testing ad, you're going to be able to retain that 100 likes for social proof and just to build a bit of authority to help you with scaling side of things. Now, that's basically just, how you run Facebook ads in a nutshell. But the thing that people neglect is actually creatives, because creative is everything. Like, media buying is not too hard nowadays because the Facebook ad AI has gotten really good over the years. So now I'm gonna go over a few best practices when it comes to creatives, right? So there's generally kind of 3 angles we used to like to go with. Number 1 being the user-generated content angle. So how you acquire user-generated content is literally just send out an email blast to your mailing list and say, hey, look, you've already bought our product, you've probably liked it. If you did, give us a video review, video testimonial, anything along those lines, and then we'll give you either extra big discount or ship out a free item to you completely on the house. This will get you to acquire user-generated content for pretty much next to nothing. And then that's where you can kind of chop it up and then make it into a little montage if you want, slap some subtitles, and you got a banging ad creative right there. Another angle that you could go with is the gain without pain. So essentially everyone wants their problem solved by throwing money at it instead of actually making lifestyle changes. So for example, if you're selling a diet tea or maybe a protein powder or something, you're essentially trying to solve a problem within the person without getting them to kind of change anything too painful. Essentially the gain without pain angle, the simplest way to demo that would be to demo the benefit and then show what pain it prevents them from performing. Next is the shocking transformation angle. So essentially you wanna, this, by the way, skincare companies do this really well. So on the one side of the skin, they would show like acne and then aka the before, right? And then on the other side is like clear skin. So this is something that you could do to demonstrate a point A to point B transformation for your audience, and that's also worked really well. Generally speaking, the type of store with these kinds of creatives that do it really well is actually dropshipping stores. So I would recommend you go and follow some dropshippers and just see what their ad creatives are. And from there, you're gonna be able to see, exactly what to do for your own niche. If you want access to my personal Facebook ad swipe file that I created last year for my team to kind of train the new creative guy, then join the Facebook group link down below, and I'll be posting that very shortly on the Facebook group for our private members. Highly recommend you check that out. Another thing is you need to ensure that your store actually converts. So what I mean by that is, number 1, having really high resolution images and videos, making sure the copy in terms of the product copy and things like that is grammatically correct and not very generic looking. Like, you really want to focus on direct response selling. You want to include some authority factors, so that would be things like featured in Forbes, CNBC, stuff like that. If you have press releases, you want to keep those in there. You want to have reviews that actually handle objections. So what I mean by this is, let's say a common objection is like how expensive your products are because you're, on the premium end. Then what you could do in the review section is just bump up the ones that say things like, oh, hey, I was a bit skeptical because the prices are a bit high, but it was actually well worth it because it was able to solve the problem I had really well. These reviews are really hard to come by, so if you do find one, make sure like you use it in both your ads, your emails, everything along those lines. You want to also have a frequently asked questions section when it comes to your product page. Basically at the end, you want to have frequently asked questions to make sure you're handling common objectives when it comes to maybe things, questions like, oh, how does your product work? Why does it work? And stuff like that. Once you have all of these dialed in, you should be very much profitable with your Facebook ads.